Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our first ever recording for the We're Gonna Win the League podcast. We'll be talking about what's been happening in the Premier League over the weekend and all other stuff in the world of football. This is episode numero uno. So, how exciting are we, hey? My name is Dennis, and I'm joined by my friend here, Craig and Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
Hello, you're right.
So,
Hello, everyone. Ooh,
I actually don't know what I'm doing here. These two just
good to be here.
asked me to join their meet.
yeah.
So,
We'll start with with the first game of the season last Friday.
the
Liverpool
Premier League
versus
season.
the Premier League season. Let's clarify that, yeah. Premier League, because Championship started weeks ago. So we had Liverpool versus Bournemouth on Friday at 8 p.m. So that was the first game. What did we feel about that game? New players, new season, especially Liverpool's team now lost quite different from last year. What do we think on the first game? It's quite exciting, everybody's looking forward to this. Some say that, this is the most exciting summer that has been for quite some time now, with all the new signings. Every big team has signed some very, very big players, from Liverpool to Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, and they've all signed. They spent over 200 million this summer. So do you think this has been like the biggest summer signing for the last maybe 5-6 years?
It's been a big summer, yes. It's been
not just Liverpool; it's for everybody, I suppose.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's been a big summer. Every team, not just in the top seven, have bought some players and increased the squad, and it's also been a lot of players moving around the Premier League as well, rather than coming in from abroad. Obviously, Liverpool and Arsenal exempt with that, but it's nice to see some teams in the Premier League using players that already got the experience. That'll be interesting to see.
So, yeah, I thought the game was quite exciting. Before the kickoff time, everyone was so excited, especially the first game of the season. From the current champions to play in Anfield for the first game is always, it's always been exciting. I want to start with, they had a minute silence for Jota, and there's a lot of what can I say? Like a little bit of sadness, but a lot of respect from the fans, I think. Jota's family and ex-wife or widow was in the audience, and his parents they were watching too. So it was quite emotional, I think, for everybody in that stadium.
And it kind of set the tone for obviously the weekend as well. Obviously, obviously it wasn't just Jota who play for the team. His previous teams is also what can happen in football, and not just in football, in everyday life as well. So,
Jota and his brother, I want to just mention his brother as well. It's been a difficult summer for the club. A good reception overall.
Yeah. And going into the match, I mean, obviously, me and Tom watched this together.
Yeah.
I think for me, watching the game, Liverpool, from start to finish, I thought, and Tom will back me up on this when I said to him, I can see Bournemouth getting a couple of goals here, because although Liverpool are very good going forward and they were counter-attacking, and that's what will happen all season, I think Liverpool will average 2 goals a game, because they're all attack. Even the midfielders just attack. But you could see when the game started, when the opponent, or should I say, Bournemouth in this situation gains momentum, the defence is a real issue. And I said this last week, and I said this multiple times before. When you bring in 2 new wing backs, or right back and left back, whichever system they're going to play in, that's going to be difficult as it is, because obviously you not only got to get accepted into the team and the way the style of play is, but you've also got to embed yourself in the type of player you're going to be for that team. So it was always going to be hard to introduce 2 players at centre back, at left back and right back, but also there's literally no cover at the centre back, and we saw that when Obviously, Konate didn't have a great game.
No,
Van Dijk was caught out of position a couple of times. But when you look to the bench who we can bring on, it was non-existent. Gomez was still not match fit, so he couldn't come onto the latter stages of the game. Endo come on for the right back, which introduced the 2 goals, not because it's Endo's fault. He's out of position. You know, you're going to shove a player in right back who doesn't play there, and he's not expected to play there. So they've brought in a new player, Leone. I'll be honest with you, I've seen only a couple of clips. I'm not sure how he'll be. He looks like a tall, solid centre-back. But I think in a game like that, Liverpool and Bournemouth, I thought that's what they probably would need, is someone to bring on to take off Konate, who was having a poor game, and, you know, put someone fresh on. But the game went exactly as I thought it would go. I thought Liverpool would win it. I would expect Liverpool to win it. And they were be given a fright.
The way we've been playing last season, we had McAllister and Szoboszlai was always the attacking players. But in this game, I think they were told to just, you know, stand back a little bit and let Florian Wirtz to take over the middle. Even though I don't think he gave 100% performance, I think there's something missing a little bit in that position. I think Ekitike played brilliantly. I think he had the most positive impact, not only because he scored the goal, but I think he had the correct movement throughout the game, trying to create chances for himself, you know, running through all these different gaps in between. You know, he's always alert to me, and I think that led to the first goal, because I think first 10-20 minutes into the game, I think, you know, when they got the first goal, I think it was absolutely outstanding from Ekitike. And also Kerkez was a little bit I think Kerkez went in there, wanted to prove himself, but he overdone it too much, because there are some tackles that he made that he shouldn't have done, which resulted in him to get a yellow card. You know, if that was Robertson, he would have, you know, more experienced defender. He would have analyzed, you know, the position where he was, because he was quite far away from the box. So, you know, there was no immediate threat from that point when he got the yellow card. But if that was Robertson, he'd probably just let that go and you know, chase him down the ring. But Kerkez just went for the tackle anyway and got him yellow, which resulted bad for Slot to take him off on the second half. It wasn't, you know, and that's when they scored, and then they managed to get equalised back. From Semenyo. Yeah.
What I will say is, but you know, Liverpool played a very counter-attacking way of playing, which we're going to see, and we are going to see a lot of goals being scored, but also a lot of goals being conceded. But also, Bournemouth really surprised me, because they just came to Anfield wanting a game, wanting to play, wanting to, you know, go at Liverpool. Within the times of play with Liverpool, kind of slowed down the tempo. You know, considering they lost their back line, most of the back line, that was new. And obviously, Semenyo was suffered horrific racial abuse as well in that game. To be able to bring themselves back and give Liverpool a scare, it was quite good to see for an open day football. You know, for the neutral, 4-2 was a great game. Great
motivation
and that's not because. Yeah, Konate didn't have a great game, and Van Dijk was caught out of position, and Endo was lost. But you can't say that was because of those players. Bournemouth made them. You know, you got to give credit to Bournemouth. They made Liverpool's defence look very schoolboy, which is, you know, is a compliment to them, because I thought they were fantastic. You know, especially in the second half of that game.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Do you think it's a fatigue that they're suffering? You know, Van Dijk and Konate, you know, they've been performing really well last season. You know, I think they're the best defense last season. You know, and all of a sudden, like the first community shields last week and the first game they've had, you know, they let goals in. So I don't know what's happened there.
For me, Konate's got his mind set on. I can't see him renewing his contract, so I think he's got one eye set on Real Madrid next year. I really do. I mean, he isn't that poor. We know he isn't that poor. His name has been, you know, PSG were looking at him. The fact that Real Madrid are looking at him says it all. I think he's probably a little bit distracted. And for Van Dijk as well, people say it's his age, but I think some players just get better, and you know, as they get older. And I think for defender, you know, that is the case. I think with it being a whole new back line, I think that it's hard being the captain. With the team, Vert starting, Ekitike, and then you got two players on the left and the right of you, trying to keep a high line, trying to make sure the offside tactics are working. So I don't think they had a poor game because they are just lost it, or they just aren't just very good anymore. It's getting back into that rhythm of playing football at a high level like the Premier League. You've come from pre-season where you've played, everyone can take a breather, or it's just about regaining match fitness and getting back into the the football season. But when the Premier League starts, it's the tempo is straight from the off, go go go, and I think that's all it says. It's just getting used to the team around you. And teams like Arsenal will come to we'll come to Arsenal in a minute, but I think going through that game as well, Man United obviously were a completely different team, but also I don't think Arsenal were bad. I just think Arsenal need, very similar to Liverpool, just need to gel the players together into the style of play, because there've been a lot of players come in, and it's it's getting that message across.
It take more training and maybe 3-4 weeks to figure out the master plan from Arne Slot. But let me tell you though, I'm so excited. I've never seen Ekitike played before. And
you got a bit of a crush on him.
Oh, mate! Like, to me, like when I watched him on Friday, like or last weekend in the community show, I felt like who? What the hell is this guy? Where is he come from? And then just the way he managed to gel himself into the front and in front of the team, I felt almost like happy for Mo Salah as well, because he's got somebody now to look for, which he did. He did the assist, or like putting things in the box, like before Kaiser scored the sort of winner. I think Ekitike just reminds me of who I'm gonna say. Can you guess who he reminds me of? The way he celebrated that first goal on his debut.
Torres. Is that
Fernando Torres? Yes, yeah, he's got the same. I watch him. And I thought, wow, he moves like, like the old Torres that we used to have, man. And I love Torres. I think I would really like to see him get more games now. If either Isak is coming or not, I think Ekitike will be the main man from now on. Because after scoring 2 goals in his debut, I think that's always it's positive, and it's very clever. Like he's with Darwin Núñez last season, the amount of time he's been offside. Like goal chance, like chances after chances. Sometimes Núñez is offside all the time, and it's frustrating for the fans. It's very manager. But when Ekitike did, he just well timed. He looks, he's got a bit of common sense now, like a striker with common sense, and the skills to do damage. And I think it's perfect. I think we stole him from Newcastle, obviously, but.
Hands of love.
Well, it sounds like
incredible
player.
To get a room. He could take a 22
to get a room.
Mate, I think it's gonna be.
But it's good, he's
gonna be in the top 3 goal contender this season. If he carries on like that, I reckon he's gonna be he'll be in the top 3.
I mean, so I hear what you're saying, and I think that's what I'm hoping, that Gyökeres sort of gets to that sort of level soon. But so I'll talk about him in a minute. But my impression of the game, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, was the first thing was just the atmosphere at Anfield was electric. I mean, I was watching with Craig, and just the sound, and I was saying to Craig,
the excitement.
I was saying to Craig that I really want to go to Anfield and watch a match there one day, because I think your supporters, just the singing, the loudness, just it seems like electric atmosphere.
It's electric.
So that was really cool to see, and first game of the season. I think both Liverpool and Bournemouth did well. I mean, I think it's all been said sort of already, really, by both of you. But I think, Liverpool just always have that very high pressing sort of style, and I think like as you both said, with a new kind of defense, there's kind of like a lot of holes, a lot of that sort of chemistry like hasn't been built up, and it just means that you're going to let in some goals on the counter attack, which was kind of clear on that game, but. Yeah, I mean,
I think
it was a very exciting game. A very exciting.
I think honest luck.
Yeah,
he's gonna get. He knows the problem where the defense are. I think he's gonna address that in the training this week. One thing that was missing was Gravenberch. I think he was. He's a key man. Gravenberch on that position. On what's so funny, man?
Well, just the way that you take over. When you say that Slot will do it in 1 week.
Well, that's bit. No, he will address that.
Oh, you're so confident, mate.
It was the same problem. So, do you think he won't address that at all when it comes to the next game? We do have a problem now. It's different when you see it the first time. No, hold on. When you see it the first time happening to Crystal Palace.
But
when you see it for the first time happen,
season for the past 3-4 games, and it hasn't sort of been done. So, I'm just saying that chemistry takes more than one game in the Premier League to sort out.
You've only just started 2 games, man. You can have a bad game. You can have a bad game.
To say that, I mean, that's what I mean. Is it?
No, you can have a bad game. Last week could have been a bad game. Konate and Van Dijk could have a bad game that day.
Okay,
which defense was, and then they proved it again that they weren't capable of doing the defense properly on Friday. So I think that okay, maybe it's time to look at what's going on with these two. They're the best defender of the league, crying out loud. What's happened? Do you think honest we're just gonna sit around and let it go? Get your act together.
I mean, I wish he will, and hope that he does do that. But just saying that,
of course he will. He will.
It was in 1 week for this game.
I'm not saying it was a moment, but he will address it.
Who? So who are you playing next?
Newcastle.
Newcastle,
next
right?
Weekend.
Right. So that's arguably
which is going to be electric.
A much harder task than Bournemouth. Okay, Isak isn't going to be playing because he wants to move and that sort of thing. So that means that there's less firepower, but they won a cup last season, and so they're getting, they're getting much better. So that was the other thing that I was going to say was Liverpool played Bournemouth, and so it's not really a massive test yet. It's of a team that are really good and got a defense that are sort of much better, So it's not.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a massive test, but you can see that the weakness of the team where it's coming from. Sometimes you can have a bad day, and then the second time it happens, there's obviously something wrong with the defense. He can see it now, and he will address that. And especially when you got this new 18-year-old that just come in as a new centre back, so he's obviously got more options now going through the next game.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to bring in Gomez or Endo to cover it up. If Konate needs to come off, because if he's playing really bad, he can bring the 18-year-old lad. That's his new signing.
Oh yes, we saw him.
There's the option now of the centre back. Right, moving on to
Arsenal, Man United.
I think I want to recap before we get into Arsenal and Manchester United. I want to recap.
That is rude, mate.
Manchester City. I want to recap quickly.
Man, and you just cut my flow.
No, because we're going to be talking quite a bit with Arsenal and Man United, so we got a lot of opinions on that one. But before we start doing that, I want to recap Manchester City, and Chelsea, and Newcastle's game. How did they put this? Let me just double check.
I mean, Man City beat Wolves 4-0, but that was, Man City clearly got a very good squad back, and they're going to be one team that are going to contend for the league this season. But again, that was not really a test either. So who knows? I mean, like Wolves are. I don't think they're really a test for like Man City, like 4-0.
I don't know why you keep saying a test.
So,
Like there's only like.
Well, no, but just
Three,
saying
four,
that there are teams who have better defenses that Man City could play against.
Yeah,
that is more of a test of like their sort of playing style, isn't it?
But 4-0 away from 4-0 away from home, first game of the season with a new squad is not something to say is easy.
No.
I mean,
no, but like just looking at
it's a statement. It's a statement. Man City is here to come back.
Well, yeah, but the angle that I'm coming on from is to say that like it isn't over. So like that's what I'm saying.
But it's a very, very strong statement.
Yeah.
Can I just say before we? I know we'll stay on Man City, and I don't know who watched the game, but that Reinders in midfield, he looks like
Reinders, fantastic running.
He's going to be when De Bruyne left, and obviously his injuries had. I always wondered if they would replace him. He looks like, I'm not saying he's there.
He's on fire. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So sorry, continue. But I just wanted to give him a bit of a shout.
I think Manchester City looks very strong. It is 4-0 at the end of the day. I think they came in with a statement. They wanted to prove that, this might be the year again, and there's no doubt about that. I think they're a contender. Never write it off. But
second again.
Yeah. And we had Chelsea and Crystal Palace yesterday as well. I think Chelsea, I expected Chelsea to, they played at home. I expected them to at least get a couple of goals over Crystal Palace, but they didn't do that. So it's a weird situation with Chelsea. So I don't know how they're going to do well.
And again, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I think Crystal Palace have got a really good momentum going.
Yeah.
To be the FA Cup winners and then come into the season and beat Liverpool.
Of course, they have the motivation.
I didn't watch the game, so I can't. To be fair, I didn't even watch the highlights for this game. But what I will say is, from an outside looking in, if there's any team that's going to be high on motivation, it'll be Palace. But I did expect Chelsea to beat them.
Yeah, I watched bits of that game, and it was a bit like I think both teams were fairly equal, like in terms of their playing style and shots and all that stuff. I thought that they sort of cancelled each other out a bit, and like everyone expects sort of like Cole Palmer to like sort of like come in and score, and he did have I think at least one shot I saw, but it was not very powerful and not sort of really aimed well. So it wasn't that difficult to save. Eze did well for Palace.
Yeah, he had
something that I always look out for because of that rumor that he's either going to Tottenham or Arsenal. But now the rumors are saying that he might actually stay at Palace.
No, I believe Spurs put a bid with him today. They put a 50 million bid for Eze today.
I didn't see that bid.
on Fabio Romano about a couple of hours ago.
Okay, but Palace, I think they won't sell for less than 68 million anyway. So, I guess is that they'll say no to that.
Okay, moving on to the big game of this Sunday.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Manchester United versus Arsenal at Old Trafford.
So
let's look at the team. Let's recap the team that you had here. Go on. Sorry. So I think this is the hype of the week. I know Liverpool played the first game, but I think to see this fixture on the first day of the season is almost like wow, this is going to be the ultimate test. Manchester United, will they come back with a new signing, or Arsenal's gonna, hammer them down? Let's see this is
Man United were the better team.
So this is what
they were, yeah.
So you had Martinelli.
Yeah.
So Arsenal's team was Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka, Declan Rice, Subimendi, just behind Gyökeres and Odegaard. Calafiori, Gabriel Saliba, White, and Raya. And you have the new signings for Manchester United: Cunha, Bueno, Dogu. Is he a new signing as well, Dogu? Because I think he had a really good game. Of course, Mount. So, what do we think about that game then, Tom? I will get your opinion on this one.
Well, so I was expecting Arsenal to do better, if I'm honest. I mean, there were quite a lot of signs that sort of. I mean, there were quite a few things that were quite good in terms of individual sort of players did fairly well on like quite a lot of sort of different sort of individual sort of moves. But I think as a team, it kind of felt like we weren't able to get crosses into the middle as much as we used to. Saka was sort of drowned out. Like it felt like he was just drowned by like Man United players, and he wasn't able to sort of make his way through enough and pass in to perhaps Gyökeres. Martinelli, again, I think he wasn't that sort of great, but he managed to sort of do some runs, and I think he got one of the only few shots away, but that was straight at the goalkeeper, a not very powerful shot. Like he nutted a player and it sort of went straight to the goalkeeper's hands. Gyökeres, so basically I think the issue was that he wasn't fed the ball enough. So I think it's just a matter of sort of chemistry and takes time to sort of build that sort of new style of playing. The positive, though, was that I think he was very physical and he won quite a few fouls. And that was just because of his physicality. So he would just sort of hold the ball and shield until they pulled him down. And like that was quite nice to see that sort of hunger to sort of keep the ball and not give it away was quite good. On sort of looking at the other, sort of side, Man United.
Well, I want to talk about.
I think were very good. But I'm still speaking, then. So
I understand, but before we can move on to Man United's team, I think I want to.
What the fuck?
No, what do you mean? What the fuck? No, I'm going to follow up with a question. You're line.
Rob, do you?
Like I'm following up with a question, and let me do it. So we're talking about Gyökeres here, and we're talking about Gyökeres. It's the big bad wolf. Remember, this is what you've been singing for 2 years.
Yes,
just need a striker, man. We need a striker. We're gonna win the league. We're gonna walk all over everybody.
Yes, and go on.
And looking at the stats, I think that was the worst debut for any striker. I don't know if all time.
Where's the Giroud?
Worse than anybody else that we have witnessed for the last how many years. He's definitely got the medal for that. Gyökeres got the medal for it.
I mean, I can't really sort of comment on that, but like what I can say is that I am confident that he will get better. Like, obviously as this thing goes on,
I think,
and you got to remember that he's come over and he's played 2 preseason games, and the first game against Man United, that is a really big sort of game. I mean, I'm not making excuses, but just sort of thinking about sort of why it might have been like a more than a sort of difficult game for him to sort of start in the league and be against a team like Man United. And even though they weren't very good last season, whenever you go to Old Trafford, it's the atmosphere, it's the history, it's like everything else. And I think the one quote that I read on quite a few different pundits saying, I think, is like shows sort of quite a lot of sort of testament to Arsenal, is that even on our bad days, like we beat a team like that, So that's something that not all teams
Arsenal's
do
defense was
that.
very good. Arsenal's defense was very good. I'll give you that.
So like even on a day when like we aren't firing on like all cylinders, we're still able to pull off a victory. When 1-0 is like it was like still a good victory. I think looking at the stats actually, because I saw this yesterday, we beat them 1-0 on like quite a few occasions in the past as well. So,
I think
like,
Manchester United had a better game.
It was not a bad
yeah, I mean
result.
like
Now,
yeah.
what I was going to say when like Dan sort of rudely sort of cut me up, when I was like on Man United's side, they were a lot better than last year. I think Kuna and like Mbeumo, like especially those two were sort of firing on like quite a lot of cylinders. And Kuna actually, the like one best chance that they had was Kuna managed to get through 3 Arsenal defense players when like he was running and the ball sort of went up in the air, and like he managed to sort of take it through 3 of our defense. And he didn't have the like sort of energy or sprinting power to like sort of finish it off and score, but that was dangerous. And so Kuno I think was a great signing for them, and so was Mbeumo. I mean, their defense did show some weakness, and especially their goalkeeper. I mean, like in a way, it was lucky that we got that goal, because that was their goalkeeper's fault, because he didn't sort of fight enough, sort of hard enough to like punch the ball away or that sort of thing. He was bullied a bit by Saliba, like quite a lot, and he was just like pushed back, and I didn't have the physicality to sort of like own his box, really. And then Calafiori just was there at the right time. Actually, I think Calafiori was one of my standout players for Arsenal, because he was the one who actually set up that corner in the first place. That got us the goal, and he was running all over the place and doing great plays, great passes and great runs. So I think he was one of my standout players for that game.
I think going back, I want to go back to Gyökeres. I think I'm not saying he's even though he didn't have the proper performance when he won his debut. He is a good player. I think Gyökeres. I think he's got a lot of potential. And I've said this countless times to you, in the past, that Arteta is not the manager that's gonna get Gyökeres the 39 goals per season. 30 goals per season. He's not the right manager to do that, because he doesn't play the way he doesn't with Arsenal. He doesn't play the way the striker is the main goal scorer. He wants to get the goal from the wingers, like the Saka, Martinelli, or a little bit of midfield or from corners. That's why he wants to play. But is he adaptable enough to do that, to make a change within? If you needed a goal, you bring in Gyökeres for the next game. Is he brave enough to change his tactic to say, look, listen, our wingers, you have to support Gyökeres. Let him run through and pass the ball to him, to get a goal. Is he gonna tell him to do that, or is he just gonna say, "Look, Gyökeres, you're gonna, you're free to run and let Saka cut the corners, and and see if we can get a goal from the game."
So my take your point, and I think it's a good point, but I think the only reason why Arteta's played like that is because we haven't had that sort of a number 9 for the past few seasons, and so he has adapted incredibly well to try and get our wingers to score more and to get a lot of the other players to score more. So I think that's just why the tactic is more that way. So what I'm saying now is that he is going to adapt that tactic, but it takes time for not only him to do it, but for the other players to sort of gel and do it as well, because they're so used to playing it in that way. So that's what I think, is that it takes time to like sort of like shift that tactic. And like also the other thing is that you say that he needs to score 30, 40 goals. What I think he needs to score is like only 20, because if you look at our last season, the amount of different players that scored was like quite a lot. So Saka, Havertz, like they all scored quite a few goals.
Yeah, exactly. All the goals come from your wings.
And so that
not
means,
from a striker.
And so that means that even Gyökeres, if he scores 20 and they all score like 20 or 30 in between them, then that's
they all score, yeah. 20 each.
So like, not
Martinelli,
saying
Saka, Gyökeres all score 20 each for the season.
But saying that if he scores like 20 or like 25, and then like Saka scores 5 or 10, and like someone else scores like 2 or 3. I mean, we also are the masters at corners and stuff, aren't we? So like we get a lot of.
You can't win the league with corners. You can't win the league or competition with just corners.
What I'm saying to you is that I actually was quite respectful of your point, and I said that I take your point, and I'm just saying my opinion, and like you're just sort of like dissing the opinion.
I absolutely not dissing. You're gonna put reality into the mix.
But what I'm saying is that I like took your point and like thought about it, and I'm like giving my opinion back. So that's a much better way of doing it.
I mean, I respect your opinion, but I think it's on Arteta's end game. He doesn't have an end game because he's stubborn and he doesn't want to change tactics. Even though he's got a new striker, he can't. He's not the like you put any manager that focuses on a striker to get goals. You know, he will do well in Arsenal. He will get goals, but with Arteta, you put
the time will tell, won't it? Then.
Time will tell, as of everything.
Can I just say, I do think Man United's goalkeeper should have. Man United's goalkeeper should have been stronger in that position. But he should have punched it. But and I'm not listening to Dig, but all you heard of Arsenal fans last season is Bar's done us over, Bar's done us over, Bar's done us over. And if that was the other way around, I believe you not. All you'd see online by the Arsenal fans, and you know which ones I'm on about, will be again, VAR's done us over, VAR's done us over. I think it could have gone two ways, and because it does look like Saliba does push the goalkeeper's arm up, but from a goalkeeper's point of view, you've also got to command your area better, and also get a player to bully that player back. But anyway, that's just my take.
Yeah, all corners is come from a foul, but they never call it. You know, the same thing. The handball that Liverpool never given. You know, the Ekitike, nearly touched the ball. Arsenal will not win the league. I tell you this now: you're not winning the league just relying on corners again. You know, it'll be.
I'm not saying relying on corners. I am saying that that's part of the Arsenal. That like we have many tactics in Arsenal, and that's one of them.
There's two focus. You gotta have one focus. Either get your players to score goals during the game, or like you did last season. Oh, we'll get as many corners as we can do, and we'll score from there. That was your tactic. That was Arsenal's season, and then it worked. And it worked. You know, finished second, got through to the Champions League, but it will only get you that far, and it will never push it for to be. What would happen now? Let's say if Man U scored again, like they got an equalizer. Gyökeres came off, Martinelli, Havertz came on for him, and then you're left with one striker again.
Havertz can score goals perfectly well. So
he should have started. I think Gyökeres should have been benched if he's not ready, and he looks unfit to me anyway. Like he just the Premier League is different from Portugal. You know, that's where Darwin Núñez came from. Look, and some people would say Darwin Núñez is way better looking player than Gyökeres, and he's 9 million in my fantasy league, which is ridiculous. Very highly expensive player to buy in, but no, like I said, only time will tell. I give credit to Manchester United. I think they will definitely come back. And the team that they will chase for the spot will be Arsenal. Unfortunately, you don't want to hear that. They will take Arsenal's spot in the Champions League.
But
I will tell you that now.
No way, Dennis. No way.
They will take that. I think Man City will run this through.
Pigs will fly if that happens, Dennis.
No, because Arsenal it's just Arteta. Like, it's been there for 6 years. It does the same thing. It does the same thing. Like, there's no fresh ideas anymore with Arteta. Yes, you got a new striker, very talented, scored 39 goals in Sporting Lisbon. But is he going to get the full potential? No, I don't think he will. Because of what he's done for the last 5-6 years with Arsenal. He's done nothing. That's my point of view.
He's done quite a lot. Yeah, I mean,
look,
I'm not even going to argue anymore because I know that you're so anti him that there's just no point arguing anything. So let's move on to like the next thing. Yeah, because
while we've got 10 minutes left, I'm going to do a quick EFL roundup, weekend roundup, because the Premier League is not the only league that exists.
It's the most exciting league in the world.
It's the most exciting league. It's the most fast-paced league, but it's also the most unjoyous league. When every goal goes in and you're waiting for VAR to confirm a result that we all know is going to be a goal, or somebody in another room elsewhere is going to make a decision in that moment. Anyway. So I want to show you, to be fair, obviously, I'm going to do a quick EFL roundup, and I went to a match this weekend, Port Vale versus Burton Albion at Burton. So I went, obviously, it's away day, it's only 40 minutes up the road, it's still the same postcode, so it's a bit of a county derby, still in Staffordshire, although they are a small town derby, and they like to think they're bigger than that. But a quick roundup, and then I've got a video to show you of something that happened there, and I need your two's opinion on it. So I don't care if this gets recorded and put on the reel. I just need your two's opinion on it. So obviously I've done a bit of research of some of the games I didn't see. So obviously from the EFL Championship, there was a great result there, which was Coventry beat Derby 5-3. So Frank Lampard is obviously now the manager of Coventry. He used to manage Derby County. It was a great win for Coventry, and it was one of the matches I did watch over the weekend. It was a great advocate for the championship, and it was 5-3 on the Saturday. It's just it's amazing. Birmingham obviously went up to the championship. They beat Blackburn, which again was another great watch. I watched that one as well. It was a really good match to watch. Port Vale have got Birmingham actually in the Carabao Cup in I think a week and a half's time, 2 weeks' time, week and a half time. Our rivals down the road, Stoke, who ended up top of the league with 6 points, but I'm sure that bubble will burst very soon once they realise they are just probably got a little bit of luck. Within Vale's league, League One, Cardiff, I think, beat Rotherham 3-0, which is probably the most standout match from that weekend. Obviously, Cardiff was just dominant, considering Port Vale overrun them when they come to Vale Park. Cardiff had a good game. League Two, I think the biggest victory there was Milton Keynes. MK Dons beat Cheltenham Town 5-0, but nobody likes MK Dons anyway, so less of that. So, Port Vale. I'm not anti-referee. I really am not anti-referee. But that was one of the worst refereeing performances I've seen. It was just, we played against 12 men the whole match. And to be fair, we got a man sent off, and we still were the better team. You would have thought Burton with a team of 10 men. For that game to finish 0-0 after a man getting sent off after 15 minutes was, our goalkeeper was amazing. On midfield, Ojo, who's just come back into the side. He was off on loan to Sheffield Wednesday last year, and we thought he was going to leave. He's come back into the squad. He's another player. His defensive and midfield is fantastic. Running with the ball, amazing. Port Vale are just, I wouldn't say we're struggling. He's just getting the goals in the net now. We're getting a lot of chances, and it's just now getting that finishing touch. We have got strikers, and it's just about, hitting that ball in the back of the net. Anyway, I want to show you the red card. I'm going to share my screen. I've got to show you this. And you'll think to yourself, what the hell happened? So, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Tell me if this is a red card. Mate, he got the ball. He got the ball. That is a challenge. If
From that angle.
Is that like a different angle? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll show.
Okay.
He
was he sent out because he thought it was a two-footed tackle?
Football's a contact sport, and
well, it depends on whether. Yeah.
Oh, just.
Well, it looks like you got the ball there.
I mean, let's. Can we slow it down?
I mean, from that angle, it looks like he gets the ball, but then unfortunately, the other players just right on top of it. Yeah.
Got ball.
Well, so he gets the ball, but then he goes straight into him, don't he, afterwards?
Doesn't matter if he goes straight into it. No, he got the ball, and that's a tackle. We got him sent off, and then also very sad. I mean, luckily nothing happened. There was a medical emergency in the stand as well. One of Port Vale's fans fainted, which obviously was a medical emergency. As we know, the laws changed after Christian Eriksen and fans in the crowd who get taken off for the match. The match is meant to be stopped straight away. All the fans were putting the attention to the players. The players were giving the attention to the referee, and the referee just carried on playing. He was a first class knob. He was just, I mean,
yeah.
And then the security, obviously, Burton used a security company at their matches. They were just, there was no rushing them. There was no rushing them at all. Thankfully, Burton's first aiders, which were on the bench, came to that fan. I believe the fan's all right now. I think it was blood pressure or something like that. But probably from the referees, the performance, it was that bad. We played 12 men, 12 against 10 all match. I think we had a couple of fouls given to us, and I was surprised about that. But anyway, to come out of that match 0-0 against 12 men, it's a good result for Vale.
Well, the other thing is what I tend to sort of see in games is referees don't like giving cards like early on. So that's what, especially it makes it a bit sort of odd that they gave a red card, because you said that was 50 minutes in, right? 15
minutes in, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a bit early for them to. So normally refs they try to manage the game and not give cards out.
The craziest thing, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Today it's gone to the FA because obviously if you look at the response online, even on that video I just showed you, nobody, bar the odd Burton fan and the odd Stoke City fan, I've even seen Stoke City fans stick up for it, saying that it's not. If you can't do that in football, what you can't. We couldn't tackle all game. We could not tackle all game because you knew what it was going to be. Obviously, unfortunately, Vale went to the FA today to get overturned, and then they disagreed as well, probably because they're sticking up for the referee. So now it's gone from a 1-match ban to a 3-match ban, because once you appeal and it's unsuccessful, the ban gets extended. So, yeah.
Frustrating for you guys, yeah. Frustrating.
You got Stevenage next game?
Next game's tomorrow against Stevenage at home. I'll be going that one. And then we're playing Doncaster at home on Saturday. And I believe Birmingham is the week after, the Tuesday after.
Yeah, was he a player that is?
He's a captain.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, like, he's particularly sort of like important for you guys.
He's a very good player. We haven't seen the best of him yet, but he is a good player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll be able to bounce back and get some win tomorrow. That will show those referees The best way to do it. Okay, so that would be finishing off this episode. I think we covered, specific topics when we talk a bit more. So Arsenal will play. What do you have played next week, Tom?
One Tom, you Arsenal fan?
Yeah, Arsenal fan.
Oh, for goodness sake.
He's just checking BBC Sport quickly.
We are playing Leeds.
So
yeah, Leeds. So that
Leeds at
so
home.
that should be that's that. So it should be
on Saturday.
a definite.
It's a 5:30 kickoff. Yeah.
That'll be an easy win for Leeds. Oh, sorry.
So Liverpool play on a Monday night against Newcastle. That's gonna be electric. It'll be funny if Isak turns up. I doubt he will. I don't think the fans hate him. Newcastle fans hate him now, and I wonder what Liverpool fans going to be singing to one Newcastle fans about Isak.
Can I just say, Liverpool have now sold. Now with Ben Doak going to Bournemouth today,
25 million.
Now 195 million is it that they've made in player sales? So if
more than that.
If FSG were honestly backing the team, obviously at the start of start pre-season, everyone's saying, "Oh, Liverpool just spending." They clearly did because they knew we were going to sell these players. I think is the net spend now 40 million, something like that.
Yeah, 40 million. Really.
I mean,
really
for a team who won the Premier League last season, that's nothing. So I think the owners now, if they want to get Isak, well, they need to get Isak.
They can. Yeah.
They need to because you can't turn around and everyone looks at us now as a team that spent money, which we have. But you take away the sales, it's 40 million.
I think Mark Gui will stay now. Palace, I think because we just got an 18-year-old.
I think we need Gahey more than we need Isak. I'll be honest with you.
I would say so, but he's a first team player.
You can't put Leone
and the only thing I say that Craig, he won't go because he's a first team player.
Yeah, but he's leaving at the end of the season.
Yeah, we'll get him for free. Why paying something when we can get him for free next season?
Palace have confirmed that they don't want to lose him on a free, so they want to get money for him. So now I think Palace wants 60 million, but Liverpool only want to spend about 40 million on a player that's contract ends that season.
Yeah.
But personally, I think Elliott still has a future at Liverpool. I think Chiesa needs to be given more of a chance. I think you've got players at Liverpool who've got so much more to give in the attacking areas. I think it's the defence. I don't think you can rely. If Van Dijk gets injured or Konate, as bad as a game he did have, you can't rely on an 18-year-old who I don't know a lot about. I think I've seen one clip of him take down a past prime Lukaku. I mean, you know what I mean? So that's just my opinion.
Going forward, I think I'd like to see Mark Gui come to Liverpool this summer. I don't think he will now. I think if Konate signs a new contract, then he's definitely going to start every game for, until. So I think Mark Gui won't come unless he plays his starting role. And Slot's not going to drop Konate if he stays another season. That's my opinion.